All right, boys and girls, we got a lot to talk about today, from Black Monday all the way to playoff Super Wildcard weekend. Today on NFL Pregame Party. All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard. It's time for NFL Pregame Party, Super Wildcard Edition. I'm your host, Joe's Atmosphere, and I am joined by a fantastic panel, including there can be only one, the Highlander, John.
Good morning, everyone.
And the Knoxter. What's up, man?
Hey.
All right. Well, if you guys have been living under a rock, I guess you don't know that the Super Wildcard weekend starts today, and that's why we're doing this a day early. We're going to do it on Saturday the next 2 weeks, and then we'll go back to Sunday for Championship Sunday. So it's good to have you guys here. Welcome aboard, everybody watching on X and Rumble and YouTube. It's good to see you. I see Tim is in the house. Danny, I have got to download that friggin' Tim video from
I'm telling you, dude.
They use it over on Pop Culture Minefield when he
call
shows
me
that. Yep.
Tim. Boom, boom, boom.
That's it. But anyway, all right, boys and girls. First of all, we want to congratulate the Michigan Wolverines. It seems like it was 2 years ago already.
I don't know why we want to do that, but whatever.
They were the best team in college football this year. They beat the Washington Huskies, who just lost their coach, and we'll be talking about that here pretty soon. But anyway, anybody have anything to say about the national championship? Game wasn't even close.
Well, I mean, I do think if it was a little different, Washington could do better on a better day. I don't think this was definitely not a TCU and Georgia game to that extent.
Right.
And so I think, and because Penix was just not on his game. I'm not sure what happened with him. This is definitely not his best game. And Michigan's D-line had something to do with that.
I was fixing to say, from what I understand, I didn't see the game, but I heard Michigan's defense had a lot to do with it.
I did see the game. Yeah, they definitely had something to do with it, but there was still Penix he showed better.
Mm-hmm.
So and then the defense they couldn't stop the run. It was bad. It was like 170 yards in the first quarter. Like,
ooh.
Yeah, I think Michigan had two backs over 100 yards. They rushed for over 300 yards total. They didn't throw a touchdown pass, so I mean they physically beat them up.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think on a better day, Washington could definitely do better. Just not that day for sure. But I still think Washington earned their spot there. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, now they're going to get gutted because their coach is leaving. So I don't know if they're going to be back.
So, yeah, and let's go ahead and get on to that. We had Black Monday this week, and wow, the dominoes started falling. Now, let's go ahead and list the teams that already had gone on from their coach, okay? I think Josh McDaniels was number one that went, right?
Yeah, it was either him or Frank Wright. I can't remember.
Yeah,
no, I think Frank Wright was first. Yeah,
Reich might have been first.
The Panthers.
That firing right there the Panthers' new owner is a moron. I don't.
He doesn't. His organization is like a family. Okay, he doesn't rush these decisions, right? That's what he said.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Frank Reich did not deserve to be fired, but that's okay. He's going to be coaching somewhere else. Then you had Josh McDaniels once again destroyed another franchise, and he got sent packing halfway through the season.
with applause and cheers.
Yes, running rail. And by the way, Raiders Nation, if Mike Davis doesn't hire Antonio Pierce, he's fucking up. That guy.
Yeah, Titans are trying to steal him. Like, how often do you hear an interim coach like getting that much, like, trying to get interviews and stuff like that?
Guy was a player in New York when he played. I remember him as a linebacker for New York. He was a good player, and obviously had the locker room on his side in Vegas. So it was Josh McDaniels who he stepped in for, and that was the second guy that went. Then probably my favorite one that happened this year. You guys know I've hated this guy for a couple of years now. Brandon Stokely got sent out on a fucking rail out of San Diego. So that's a beautiful thing, if you ask me.
The analytics said he had to be fired.
The analytics said he needed to be put on a fucking rail and sent out of town. And they did it. Finally. They finally got rid of that asshole. So that was 3. What else did we have during the regular season? I think that was it. Arthur Smith was the first to go on 1 minute into Black Monday. They wasted no time at 12:01 a.m.
Did he make it to midnight in Eastern time? I could have swore he made it just before midnight Eastern.
Really? So it was actually Sunday night. Where
I could be wrong. But yeah,
where the team's sitting, he got fired at 11 o'clock. Huh? That's funny. But Arthur Smith got sent out, and that that one right there, I kind of questioned because did he pick the quarterback? I think they have a GM. That was linked to the quarterback. If you ask me, he just couldn't coach that guy up.
Yeah, and I liked Ritter coming out of college, but because he was one of those teams, like he was on Cincinnati, he's one of those teams. I always root for a team that's not SEC or something like that. And unfortunately, Cincinnati didn't do much in the playoffs, but that's where he came from, and so I was kind of rooting for the guy. But yeah, he's been given his chance, and he just hasn't performed. So time to move on.
Yeah. So you got Arthur Smith, and then let's see.
Vrabel next?
Vrabel was next, and that shocked me.
I think Vrabel
that makes me think that the Titans are a bunch of morons.
Well, no, I think wasn't Ron Rivera right after the Atlanta guy?
You're right. Ron Rivera was
like
next.
Early morning.
Yeah. Ron Rivera was next in Washington.
And the writing was on the wall for both of those, the Washington gig and the Titan gig. Both of those, it didn't look like those coaches were going to stay around for whatever reason. So,
yeah, the Ron Rivera I understand because you had a new ownership group, probably wants to start fresh, but I really don't understand the Titans firing Mike Vrabel.
Well, you see some of his interviews, post-game interviews, he definitely had some issue with front office people, so. Yeah, it didn't surprise me that he wasn't going to be sticking around in Tennessee.
Yeah, well, that's going to be good for another team, that's for sure, because he's a good coach. So he got let go. That's a total of 6. And then on Tuesday, we found out about a couple of icons. First one being my head coach, Pete. Or actually, no, he was not first. He was first.
Yeah.
He was the first one to let go. After his exit interviews, they decided to move on from Pete. He is going to be working as an advisor to John Schneider, the GM. And I listened to his last interview with the Sports Talk guys there in Seattle. And yeah, he's got nothing but good things to say about the organization. He's going to be sticking around with John and being an advisor to him because he wants to see
Hey, do
John
we need to
succeed.
use the word icon with Pete Carroll? I don't know if I feel comfortable with that.
I don't
Well,
know if I
you
feel
can
that way
feel
either.
uncomfortable about it all you want,
I-
people. There's only 3
this
head
is
coaches
bias. I think
that
the
have
ban-
an NCAA championship and a Super Bowl ring, and that 2 of them were head coaches in Dallas. The other one is Pete Carroll. Okay, so you can say he's not an icon all you want, but he is. Anyway,
No, he's not.
yeah, whatever, Dan. You go, SEC boy. Pete got sent packing, and then that same day later on, Nick Saban announced he was going to retire as the head coach at Alabama. Now this is
Happy days are
right.
here again.
The entire SEC throws a party on Wednesday evening because he is decided he's going to hang it up. Did not see that one coming at all. And Danny, my brother had some interesting insight about this. Tell me what it was.
Well, I mean, the things that he spoke about after he made his decision was physically he can't give what he sees is required of that position, recruiting wise, coaching wise, staffing wise, player wise. Physically, he just couldn't do it to his standard anymore. So instead of riding the program out like a Joe Pa did, he stepped away. So,
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want. I mean, he won his first national title with LSU. Great head coach, very successful. Whatever his policies are and his leadership style, it translates to championships. So, you know,
Yeah, he
end of
won
an era for
6
sure.
altogether. He won his first one with LSU. Uh, I never trusted the guy because he was kind of a mercenary. He signs an extension with LSU and then bails on him to go to Miami. Then after the first year of a 3-year contract in Miami, he bails on them to go to Alabama. So that was a knock against him, if you ask me. But he definitely found something he liked in Alabama because he won 5 titles in Alabama, and that's the kind of success you don't see very often. And at the NFL level, the guy that's had that kind of success, probably the most successful coach in the postseason in NFL history, also decided to part ways amicably with the Kraft family in New England. He's moving on. Bill Belichick, the guy that's won more Super Bowls than anybody in NFL history, is moving on. It was a sad day for me. I personally, you guys have heard me talk about this, and Danny can back me up. Our father's from Boston, so we've always rooted for the Patriots. That's no matter what teams we root for. He's a Saints fan. I'm a Seahawks fan, but we don't want to get disowned by Dad, so we root for the Patriots. And
no doubt, always a Patriot fan, all the way back to the '70s. Grogan's those bad Patriot teams.
That's it.
Yeah, it was sad to see old Bill go. Yeah, truly 2 great head coaches, Mount Rushmore type guys. Be interesting to see hear what the panel thinks of where he may land. I personally think he shouldn't coach anymore, but probably will. I'm going to say Washington probably would be a good fit for him, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about these openings. We've got a total of what is it? 7? Is there 7? Maybe 8.
It was 8. Now it's 7.
Now it's 7 because we don't even need to talk about the Patriots because they've had a plan all along. Apparently, it was in Gerard Mayo's contract that when Bill Belichick hung it up finally, he was going to be the head coach of the New England Patriots, and they're not breaking any rules. They wrote it into the contract. They did their due diligence with the NFL, made sure it was cool with them, and apparently Gerard Mayo is the next guy. So
now my understanding, I don't know if this is true, but I had heard somewhere that it was the original plan was to be after the 2024 season because of how this season ended with the what was it, 3-11 or
right.
14 or whatever it was.
Yeah, because Bill had signed an extension recently, hadn't he? I believe he had signed.
Yeah, he signed an extension in the offseason.
What I saw was like they both had 2-year deals.
Yeah,
both Mayo and Belichick or something like that. And then at the end of that 2 years, it was going to be Mayo taking over. And then, but that was a year, they cut it, a year back just because of how this year ended. And it was just time. They just felt it was time.
That'll never happen, Tim. Sorry.
Is the Raider head coach position in play, or have they landed on Pierce?
Yeah. Don't play.
They haven't landed on anything. They're going to do like they always do. They're going to do.
Antonio Pierce got interviewed by Tennessee, so Tennessee's interested in him. I don't know if that's like their ultimate goal, but he got interviewed. They asked for an interview.
Yep. Yeah. So, the Davis family is going to do. They're going to do a search, and
the Harbaugh specter is looming out there. So.
Yes, Harbaugh's out there. Yep.
I think the Raiders should go Brandon Staley, and that's just me. I think that would be awesome.
I think it would be awesome too. Go ahead, get that guy. Get them analytics. Yeah, that's right. My father is going to live forever. Okay, at least in our hearts, because we will always root for the Patriots. We're never going to give up on the Patriots, buddy. That's not ever going to happen. And Niner gang, it's good to see you. He's wishing good luck to all the wildcard teams. He's hoping for some good cannon fodder next week, I'm sure. So which one of these job openings do you think is the best out of the bunch? I say it's Atlanta. I think that Atlanta roster, if you add a coachable quarterback to the mix, you're going to have something good down there in Atlanta. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Atlanta is probably the best situation there. They're ready, defense ready, offense got the strong running game. They're strong at the point of attack, line of scrimmage. They just need to do something with the quarterback position, either get somebody in there that can work with that young guy or go a different direction. I think the jury's still out on the quarterback, but that to me is a franchise that's ready. And plus, look at the division they're in. A few tweaks here and there, and they can be very easily win that division. So that would be a good situation for any of these coaches to go into.
Yeah. What do you think is the best one, John?
And the owner is definitely into winning, Arthur Blank.
Yes,
so,
you could say what you want about Atlanta. Arthur Blank is committed to winning, no doubt. Mm-hmm.
I think Seattle's probably the best opening.
Really?
Yeah. I think they've got a lot of the tools they need, plus they've got a fan base that supports their team no matter what.
Yeah.
A lot like the Chiefs fan base.
Right.
So
they're going to come out for the games no matter what. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think they've and they've got what are they in the draft? 6th?
Yeah, it's middle of the road, I think. Unless they got a pick from somebody.
Yeah.
They do. They got a Broncos pick, don't they? Now?
Yeah. I think they do.
So,
we have a number one. We have a first round pick. I don't know.
But okay, Knock. Well, who do you think is the best out of
this? Well, I do like the Seattle and the Falcons, but I do have to make a case for Washington, based on the fact that they have the number 2 pick, and I believe they're going to go quarterback, either Drake May or Williams if he's there. I don't really see the Bears trading Fields and getting quarterback, but that's just me. Yep. So I think every quarterback is available for Washington. And the fact that they're going to have like $70 million cap space, like they're going to have space to get.
Yeah, they did.
And they have a new owner.
A lot of that friggin' salary cap, didn't they? At the trade deadline.
They did the right thing, and they got a GM guy, right? I think they're going to go a young head coach. I don't think they're going to go the Belichick route. I think because I think if they went for Belichick, that would have been a Dan Snyder thing to do, and they don't want anything to do with Dan Snyder.
Yeah,
Dan Snyder always tried to get the old heads in here, the former Glories coach in here, and it never worked. Never. Like Shanahan, they even tried to bring Gibbs back, stuff like that. Rivera, I think.
I thought that was crazy when Gibbs came back. I was like, what?
It just hasn't worked for them.
Now.
So you have a new ownership group, right, that wants to start fresh.
Yeah.
They have, and now they've got their GM, they got their football guy from the 49ers. And I think they want to get one of those hot young I think it was the hot young coaches. I think I mentioned the other night they were talking about that. I just thought that was a funny comment.
Yeah.
But maybe going after. I've also heard like Ben Johnson from the Lions, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You don't think they'll elevate the enemy?
I mean, last year that seemed
I
like
wouldn't.
it was a plan, but no, I don't think so. I think people have given up on Bieniemy. As weird as that sounds, I don't know. I don't really know why, but no, that doesn't seem to be in the cards.
Eric Bieniemy's a really good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he is.
But his mentality with today's athlete, that's not going to work at the head coach, I don't think. I mean, they were crying because of the kind of shit he was putting them through in training camp, if you remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
So and it's all about winning. Like I just don't think they would win enough for Bieniemy's tactics to work. It's Josh McDaniels. You know, everything's fine. Even when Josh McDaniels was in Denver, right? We won 5 games in a row to start the season, including beating the Patriots. And it was a great start. Everything was awesome, and then they imploded and missed the playoffs.
Yep.
So everything is fine when you're winning. Everything's
great. Yeah.
Bill Belichick would not have gone for 24 years if he lost.
Right. Absolutely.
It's because he won with help
that the Patriot way worked out.
The way
right?
he did things, he set his stuff up perfectly to last that long. But if he lost,
well, you see what's up. Because if there's an ownership group that is committed to winning, it's the Kraft family. They are all about it. So, I mean, you look at the head coaches they've had since they took over that team, it's been guys that win. I mean, Pete Carroll was their first one. Bill Parcells was his first one, and then Carroll, and then it's been Belichick ever since. So, but yeah, I mean, we do need to say though that these are the ones that we think are the best, but I don't think anybody can argue the best quarterback with any of these franchises that have shut down is in San Diego.
Yeah.
So.
Herbert.
Yeah, if you want a quarterback to start a franchise with and you want to coach him, I mean, if Belichick's going to go anywhere, I'd love to see him go there. I know you guys in the West don't want to see that, but we got another Saints fan in the house. What's going on, Big Daddy? Good to see you, small time. How are you?
Doing good. Glad to be here. Sorry I was late, but I have a good excuse. I was at a landfill. So it happens. Yeah.
Whoa, what are we doing at a landfill on Saturday morning, bro?
I just had to drop some stuff off.
Big night last night. Had to take care of some things.
Had to get rid of that hooker. That's what he had to do. Yeah.
Yep. What is it? Don't get called in bed.
There was a Super Bowl ring there, and someone threw away their ring, and so he had to go try to find it.
What do they say? If you're a politician, don't get caught in bed with a dead woman or a live boy. I think that's
the phrase. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it exactly. But I think the best quarterback out of all those franchises is the one in San Diego. I love Herbert. I hope to see him get a decent coach. But that franchise is so snake bit. I just don't know what it would take to turn them around, man. I really don't. But which one do you think? What is San Diego the least attractive to anybody?
No, Panthers. Panthers got to be.
Yeah, I think the Panthers got to be the Panthers job.
Panthers or the Raiders. The Raiders are so dysfunctional, man. The jury's still out on the Panthers' new ownership. They didn't start out, but the Raiders' history under the sun is just not a good one. So.
Yeah.
I think as a team, though, the Raiders showed that what they could do this season. Like with a proper coach, they show what they could do.
It's amazing how a team can, the last quarter poll, they play lights out, but before that, they just can't seem to get their shit together for whatever reason.
That's got to be on the coaching, right?
Well, we'll see. I mean, they'll get a new coach in there, and you'll see much the same. I guarantee you. It's the funk that's around that freaking Raider organization, like the Saints. I mean, I'm all for it, but just something's not right.
If they don't elevate Pierce, they're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, they made
honestly
that
to me. Already, so. What's funny is I think that to me that would be on par with when they got rid of Tom Cable.
Yeah,
when they went 8-8 that one year, and everything was like pointing up. Like this is literally the same exact situation, and they let him go. Made no sense to me at the time. I was like, how do you do that? How do you let a guy go that went 500 with a team that sucks?
I'll tell you how it happens. Exactly what Danny's talking about. They don't know what they're doing. It's bad. It's bad in Las Vegas, but that guy in Carolina is, he's going to have to prove to me that he can run an organization because he showed his ass this year. Ridiculous, man.
Didn't they pretty much make Richardson sell the team a few years ago, if I remember correctly?
Richardson,
the former Panthers owner. I want to say that I don't know if he was forced out of ownership, but it wasn't like
it wasn't good. Yeah. It definitely. There was a cloud over that. Yeah, for sure. But it's going to be interesting to see. I want Mike Vrabel in Seattle. And I'd take Frank Reich. There's a couple of guys that lost their jobs this year that I'd take in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Hell, I'd take Belichick up in Seattle. You know what I mean? Because Belichick is going to coach again. And I'm with Danny. I wish he'd just retire because he's got nothing left to prove. But he feels like he does. He's a guy that loves history, and he wants to break the Don's record. That's
that's the only thing he's got left to do. So, I mean, if he continues, that would be his driving force. It's not about winning Super Bowls. It's about getting that, wins under his belt. That's all he's got left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If Belichick went to Seattle, then Pete Carroll could show him all the early bird specials and all.
That's right. That's right. All the discounts for the senior citizens. Yeah, that's right, man. Hell, they're the same age, aren't they? Both 72 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's crazy, man.
So
one has been way more successful than the other one, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
So who's going to go to the Titans? Kind of the forgotten team here.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing: the Tennessee's. I don't know how attractive it is, man.
Derrick Henry's not going to be there anymore.
No.
Nope. He said his goodbyes.
It sounds like they're about to rebuild that franchise.
So
plus
you're talking about a full
battle
rebuild.
with fucking Ryan Tannehill, which I wouldn't wish on my worst fucking enemy. That guy sucks.
There's a coach we're not talking about that's in the wings, and that's Harbaugh.
Yeah, that's true. Harbaugh is going to command a lot of money, and
he needs to hurry up and decide. Like this, I'm tired of talking about Harbaugh maybe coming to the NFL, coming back.
Well,
you won your championship. Let's go.
Right?
Yeah, the 2 teams that are constantly around his name is the Chargers and the Raiders. I mean, and then you've seen Chicago making a push for him, but it's always been Chicago Raiders for Harbaugh because I guess he has ties, and he's mentioned that he finds that Charger franchise.
Well, at least for 1 year, Chicago's sticking with that.
Chicago has said they're sticking with Eberflus. So
the surprise not firing for me has got to be Dennis Allen.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised by that at all. If you follow the Saints franchise, they just don't bail on coaches very fast. They just don't. Ditka is the only one that they. Other than that, they don't let go of the head coach very quickly. We're going to be stuck with Dennis Allen for at least a year, maybe 2, and it's going to be 500 ball, mediocre football. Sad because they've got good pieces in there, and they're squandering some good talent on that team.
It took a hurricane to get rid of Jim Haslett.
Yeah, it did.
Yep, sure did.
Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the fallout from Black Monday. But,
just real quick, if you don't mind, Joe.
Go.
Matt, who's your most attractive team?
That's right. You came in a little late.
In terms of the available NFL spots? Gosh, not the Raiders, not the Panthers. Maybe Seattle, just because they haven't bottomed out like some of these other franchises.
That's what John said.
Have.
Yeah, that's what John said. I said Atlanta. I said Atlanta's a quarterback away. You've got a great roster there. You really do.
Yeah.
I think you can really build something around Bijan Robinson.
And they have a top 10 pick.
Yeah, and they've got a high draft pick. Yeah,
and they're not in a strong division.
No.
That's got to be that's got to be a huge
to
factor.
take over right there. Yeah, that was my argument. I forgot. Danny, who did you say was the most attractive one to you? I forgot. Danny?
I like the Atlanta franchise.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. I think they're ready to go. Just coach up the quarterback, and I think they're solid at the line of scrimmage where I think football is won and lost. So I like Atlanta.
And which one did you say, Knock?
I went with the Commanders.
Yeah,
I did go with the Commanders, but I'm a little biased on that one. So I really like the Seattle and Falcons pick too. So.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest problem with Seattle is they're in a strong division.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, it's going to take an ego to get up there and do that, no doubt. You've got the 49ers who are going to be perennially good, and I say perennially good because my brother and I have talked about this several times, and winning starts at the top, and they have a great ownership there. They have picked the right guy in John Lynch to run that football operation, and he is just oozing confidence in every move he makes there. I really thought when Christian McCaffrey went there, he was going to be injured every other play, and sure enough, man, he's
a workhorse.
I have been proven wrong. The guy is, he's phenomenal. So,
well, the difference between them and his situation in Carolina, they leaned on him for everything. They don't lean on him for everything.
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, and look,
plus you've got the Rams, who, to me, we're going to get into the wild card matchups this weekend. Wow, what a second half of the season they've had. That's one team that could go into San Francisco and not be scared of them. That's for damn sure, because they play them twice a year. And then you've got the Arizona Cardinals, who, you can say what you want about them, but they never get blown out. They are in every game. They compete. They really do. So,
even if they've got a munchkin for a quarterback.
Even though they've got to pick me both mentally and physically at the quarterback position. Yeah, no doubt. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how everything shakes out. Okay, we have got Super Wild Card Weekend here, guys, to talk about. We got some great matchups, and we get to talk first, and this is going to drive nuts because I beat this drum all the time. The Flacco Suns is heading into Houston at 3:30 p.m. Central, 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we get to watch all 5 games this weekend. It's great.
I don't get to see the Saturday ones. I got to work today. And I hate that because I really want to see Joe Flacco.
Nobody's going to get to see the Saturday night game. It's great.
Joe, you foresaw this because,
which
with your
is
graphic,
just insane, but whatever.
With your graphic, you have yourself, in the Cleveland Browns helmet with your Madden graphic. So
that's a fact.
And now they have a Joe, and you did that before he ever.
I predicted it. Yes, absolutely, man, absolutely. I like that a lot. But yeah, dude, off the couch, leading the Browns. I mean, if the Ravens weren't in that division, they'd have won the division. I mean, it's amazing what Joe Flacco. It's like he's surrounded by young guys, and it's giving him the fountain of youth, man. He's throwing with confidence. He's not afraid of shit. I saw him throw a ball between 3 defenders and just rip it in there about 20 yards downfield in a game a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, dude, you have got to have some confidence to be throwing that ball right there. And, Amari Cooper, all of a sudden, we weren't talking about that guy for how long? And now all of a sudden, weekly, you got a highlight of him getting a deep ball. It's ridiculous, man.
Hopefully he's not too hurt because he was out last week. Or not the week before or something like that.
Well, here's the thing.
Before they did their little off
Everybody was talking about Stroud for Rookie of the Year. I think the kid in L.A. playing for the Rams is going to get it, but after he got injured,
it's going to go to the quarterback. The quarterback gets the fanfare. Stroud's going to get that.
You think Stroud will get it?
He gets all the fanfare.
Yeah. Well, I think it should be Pua Nakuka, but hey.
Shamana Hamana? Yeah.
Yeah, Shamana Hamana. Ding dong.
Yeah.
Yep. Or you could also call him Cooper Kupp Samoan version. But yeah.
If you're Stroud, be glad that the Panthers didn't select you, because
right,
the Panthers would still be bad with Stroud.
Yes, they would.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's an organization thing.
We could be talking about Bryce Young right now.
Talking about head coaches and ex-player head coaches, D'Amico Ryans. He's doing a great job in Houston. Now,
well, absolutely he is.
Yeah, and I liked him as a player. He was a linebacker for the Houston Texans.
Texans.
Yeah, and I tell you, we're going to find out what Stroud's made of today because Myles Garrett is going to be looking to eat him. I can't. Did they play in the playoffs last year with Baker? I don't think they did. Or was it Deshaun Watson last year? I don't remember.
Deshaun Watson was last year.
Deshaun Watson was last year, yeah. Look, Flacco brings him solidification at the quarterback position. He's seen it all. He's done it. He's won Super Bowls. He's playing with house money. Even when he has a bad first half, the guy shakes it off, makes great throws in the second half. When he stepped in there and you saw that offense start moving like it does, with that defense, they immediately become a threat. And, it's a great story.
Their entire backfield was hired off the couch.
They run the football like nobody's business.
Right.
Again,
and
here's another team that's strong at the point of attack, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They lost their lead back, and then that Ward comes in, and he just keeps they just keep running it.
Yep. And
I was really surprised they played Ford last week.
How about Kareem Hunt?
Yeah.
No, Kareem Hunt's still in. It was Nick Chubb that went out.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
they got
about.
that young guy,
That's who they
Ford.
pulled off.
That's who they pulled off the couch was Kareem Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they brought him back. Yeah, I think that was an easy decision.
But, now that they have an offense that actually can put points up on the board, Cleveland becomes a legit threat because their defense is for real.
Flacco, 16 years. 16. Yeah, he's been around a long time, man. Don't let Garrett touch any helmets. He must be talking about that game where,
Rudolph.
what was it? Rudolph. He pulled his helmet off, right? Damn near.
He was just trying to help Rudolph put his helmet back on. It's a safety thing.
He was trying to help him up off the deck.
Dude, you'll get a penalty if you have your helmet off, dude.
Right here. Take it here.
Well, we're going to find out about Mr. Stroud today. Because it is the number one defense for a reason. They, to Daniel's point, they win where you have to win in the trenches on both sides of the ball. They've got a great offensive line that likes to plow the road. And on the defensive side, they have a defensive line that likes to kill quarterbacks, man. Mr. Stroud is going to be under duress a lot today. Yeah. He's not going to be able to hang on to that ball long. So it's going to be an interesting matchup to see. We'll see what he's made of. But it's good to see Houston winning again and in the mix. And it's great to see Cleveland. I've always been a closet case Cleveland fan because, my favorite color is orange, so I always root for them and the Bengals. But, man, Joe Flacco is just I know it's killing Knock because he's having to see those replays of the big bomb he threw against Denver that one year.
Yep.
but it's going to be fun to
see a playoff where both the Browns and the Lions.
Unbelievable. The AFC's got the Browns in the mix and deadly, and the Lions can be scary at times, right? Yeah, it's well, up is down, black is white, right?
Yeah.
And then we've got a matchup tonight. Well, let's pick the game. I think Cleveland's going to win.
Cleveland.
I think Cleveland's got it.
Cleveland.
Danny's got Cleveland. Knock. Who you got?
I think based on momentum, you got to go with the Browns. I like the Texans, and Stroud's going to keep them in the game for sure. Mm-hmm. It's just, man, that momentum. But again, something's got to give. When's the balloon going to deflate? I keep expecting it to happen. It just hasn't yet. So it's I don't know. Keep riding it till it does.
Right. What do you think, John?
Well, I like C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
but I don't think he can handle the teeth of the Cleveland defense.
Is that right? Okay, sounds good. Matt, who you got in this one?
I will go with the Browns, and it's purely for selfish reasons. Auburn is trying to hire the Texans linebackers coach, Chris Kiffin. So I want them to lose so we can go ahead and get him on the recruiting trail. So.
Is he related to Lane?
He is his younger brother. Yes.
No kidding. Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right.
No, I'll legitimately think the Browns will win. Yeah.
So
those Kiffins are dug in like Alabama ticks.
Ticks,
They're all over
aren't
the place.
they? Damn.
Can't get rid of them.
I ain't got time to bleed. All right. So next one up is the defending Super Bowl champs.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
That's right. That's right, baby. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
There it is. We keep forgetting about that KC bunch, but man, they're not going to lay down for anybody. I can tell you that.
And Miami, wow, did they make a mistake losing that game against Buffalo last week? They could have had the second seed and sit at the house. Instead, they have to go into arguably the worst place to go play in the playoffs, Arrowhead Stadium.
Well, it sounds like they're playing on the moon this weekend, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly. What's the temperature going to be at kickoff there?
With wind chill like -30, I think.
No, at kickoff it is going to be a wind chill of -24.
Damn.
At halftime it's going to be -26, and fourth quarter's be -28.
Yeah, it's a night game too, man. Brutal.
Oh my God. That's just, yeah. Wow, did Miami screw up? Wow, did they screw up? I mean,
look, it wasn't from lack of effort from Josh Allen because he did everything he could do to give Miami that game, and they
no
just
doubt.
suck.
Well, and Miami's bright idea to get ready for the cold was to turn down the air conditioning in their practice field.
There you go. Stadium. Real life situation right there.
You know,
they turned it down to 65, Dan.
Analytics.
You know what's funny is I've heard that, the Dolphins not going to the North, and my only response to that is, what did they do to the Bills last playoffs? They destroyed them on the ground. Yeah. And guess what the Dolphins have? They have a run game.
Chain.
What do you do when it's cold? You can't throw the ball. Now you run the ball.
I checked on this before the game, or before the show. Mostert is questionable and Waddle is questionable. Which means, but they did do walkthroughs and take snaps in practice this week. So that tells me they're going to play. Those guys are going to play, and they need both of them. If you ask me, our chain is good, but you need to have two backs, I think. And but here's my problem: their defense is gutted. Their defense is gutted by injuries. They have no pass rushers left. Van Ginkel got nicked up last time against Buffalo, and he was the last one they had.
They had to bring in Justin Houston.
Yeah, they brought in Justin Houston. Methuselah, basically, 57-year-old Justin Houston. Yeah, that's who they brought in.
I think the Chiefs are going to beat them handily because they know how to win in the postseason.
Yeah.
And I think Miami's going to figure out a way to self-destruct, and the Chiefs will move on. Now, how far the Chiefs will go, that remains to be seen, but I think the home game for the Chiefs will win this game. They'll find a way to win some way, shape, or form.
Yep. I tend to agree with you, Dan. I think that even though they've got wide receiver issues, Patrick Mahomes is going to complete enough passes and don't. I tell you who's going to have a big night tonight. Pacheco. They're going to lean on him heavy, and in the cold, and he's probably going to be
McKinnon back
this game.
No, we're out McKinnon. He's out for the remainder.
I can remember.
He had to have surgery. He had a groin injury and had to have some surgery.
Man,
so,
that would have been nice to have too, because he's great out of the backfield as well.
Yeah. Clyde's looking is knowing he's not going to be
the guy you guys gave up on every single year. Yeah,
I don't understand it, man.
I don't get it either.
I'm a big fan of his.
I know you are.
They did him. They're doing him dirty. I just don't.
Yeah, but he's going to be auditioning for another team, so look for him to play.
If I were him, I would leave. Screw that.
Yeah, he could be the next Mostert. Remember, Mostert showed out in San Francisco, and that's why Mike wanted him in Miami, and you see what he's done down there. I think
Mike only wanted him because he was fast. Okay,
I think Edwards-Helaire is going to do really good with another team. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think Kansas City, it's their game to lose tonight. I think one thing a lot of people aren't talking about is their defense is top 5, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh yeah.
And so
Yeah, they have a solid defense. Spagnola's a really solid DC for sure. Yeah, they're going to find a way to win. As far as Clyde Edward, would like to see him. I'm with you guys. I don't know why Kansas City doesn't use him more. Would like to see him, somewhere. But I think Kansas City will definitely figure a way to win this thing.
I don't think Andy Reid has liked running backs since Brian Westbrook.
No. Yeah. And what was Westbrook? He was a fucking receiver playing running back.
Right.
Basically. Yeah. So, Andy, he wants to throw the ball every fucking down. He never wants to hand it
that's
off.
His run game. Is
the screens, right? The screen game. That's his running game. Matt's got a phone call, but we'll get back to him on this one. But we're all on the Chiefs on this one. I'm going to be pulling for Miami. Don't think I'm not. My wife will be very happy if they can pull it off somehow. But yeah.
I'm kind of leaning Dolphins just because I'm not afraid of that cold, because I think it's going to affect both teams. Just because they're from Kansas City doesn't mean they're immune to negative 30-degree weather.
I don't know, man. History
and
shows
then you look at
that
what the
team
Dolphins
that's in
did
it every
last
day. Yeah, man.
I refuse to forget what the Dolphins did last year to Bills in Buffalo in that shitty weather.
That's
and
true.
Bills and Josh Allen, his genius ways, often a bit different.
Yeah, but you got to remember, the difference is, wasn't it heavily snowing then?
Yeah.
We don't have snow. We just have cold.
The snow was at England. No
but I mean,
it wasn't
you got
that
the
cold.
best running game in the league. So I mean, I don't know. The Chiefs defense is awesome, but still, I don't think the Dolphins are getting enough credit for what they could do.
I hear you. Hey, look,
all.
on offense, they could definitely hurt you. But I just think the experience of the Chiefs in this spot, being at home, and the injuries they have on defense is just so bad.
I think that's what's going to ultimately get them.
It really is.
That I agree with. That's probably, you got, Dolphins.
You're going to end up having to
Chiefs
blitz
offense,
a lot.
Chiefs defense, but then you got Dolphins defense.
And if you blitz,
that's like week 3.
If you blitz, we're going to screen you today.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, if you blitz this team trying to create a pass rush, they're going to burn you. That's just all there is to it.
I think you just stay up and stop the run, and you let the wide receivers fail, because Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers suck.
That's true. You got to double Kelsey, that's for sure. He's waiting to break out. You got to keep 2 guys on Kelsey the whole game, no doubt. Okay, so we'll get back to Matt when he's done with his call and get his pick. But we're all on the Chiefs, except for Knock. He's taking the flyer on the Miami Dolphins.
I'm giving the Dolphins a little bit of the doubt, but I do think on ultimately the defense is what's going to hurt the Dolphins.
Yeah, it is.
All it takes is some turnovers. But you can't rely on that in a game. So,
all right. So next
Unless
up,
you're playing the Bills.
That is tonight's game. And by the way, you have to have Peacock to watch it.
Plus,
which I think is
the Peacock Plus, not just
or
Peacock.
You have to
Peacock
be in
Plus.
Kansas City and have KSHB, then you can watch it too.
Right. If you're in the area, you can see it. But you've got
all that is just asinine to me that the NFL is that big now, where some people that want to see this game are not going to be able to see it because you don't have this streaming or that Fire Stick or whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
It's deplorable. You suck. You need to just go ahead and take your advertising money and be happy with it. No, you're gonna you let. Oh God, you let Peacock buy you. Okay, fine, whatever. Luckily I'm at work, so I can't even see the game anyway.
And it's crazy about it because the NFL already has an app.
Yeah.
And they know that they could sell their own product.
Yes.
But because they get paid billions of dollars by these TV companies, but they don't have to do that.
Yep.
So it's like, but they could, if they weren't so greedy, they could easily provide the game, every single game, to every single person on this planet.
Yep.
But money. That's all it is. There's nothing else for it.
Okay, so that is Saturday. Sunday, we start off at noon with the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills.
How great would it be?
This is probably my least favorite matchup of this entire weekend. I would love to see Pittsburgh go into Buffalo and beat.
I think it'd be hilarious.
I think it'd be funny as fuck. But they lost T.J. Watt last game of the fucking season on something stupid. I mean, his own player bumped into him and he was just standing there. I mean, T.J. Watt, he's a hell of a player, but he's brittle. You look at him wrong and he gets injured. It's ridiculous.
And they're not going to be able to sneak JJ out in his uniform. So.
Right? I'd heard something like that. Who was that told me that?
I did.
Yeah, okay. JJ's wanting to sneak in there. Yeah.
JJ posted on Twitter, said,
real quick, before we get deep off into this one, Matt, you're back. Give us your pick for Miami, Kansas City. You are muted, sir. We'd like to hear you.
We'll never know. We'll never know. Moving on, guys. All right. Next.
So for Miami, Kansas City, I'll have to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And
I think he said the Dolphins, and then he was muted, so he changed his mind.
So he changed it the last minute.
I don't think Dolphins do well in negative temperatures.
Yeah. Well, last year they went into Buffalo and beat them. So that was Knox point right there. But we talked about it at length. I think it's going to be their defense and all the injuries they have on that side of the ball that's going to hurt them. So,
with that said, it wouldn't shock me if the Dolphins win though, because the Chiefs are not as bulletproof this year as they have been the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Pacheco's going to have a big game.
He will.
So, okay. So we are now on Pittsburgh and Buffalo and
the Snow Bowl.
I would love to see Pittsburgh go in there and beat them. First of all, I hate both of these franchises. I can't stand either one of these teams. But I would really love to see the road team win.
I'm going with Pittsburgh. I think Josh Allen is going to do a good job of giving the ball away, and I think his history shows that he sucks in the big games, and I'm taking the Steelers.
You go, man. I like it when my brother goes out on that limb. That's awesome. But it's a big limb. Because we know the Steelers, the way they win games is ugly. They love winning games ugly, and Josh is going to give them the ball. That moron is going to give them the ball. You guys know he's going to do it. So, I want to take Pittsburgh, but I'm not. I'm taking the Bills at home, but I hear your point, Daniel. It could go either way. It really could. Just depends on which Josh. Here's the sad part. You know what Buffalo looks like to me? They look like the Denver Broncos before Terrell Davis is what they look like to me. They're being dragged to the playoffs by a guy that loves to screw.
Well, look, at least Elway would get him to the Super Bowl. He would just suck in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen can't even do that.
Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying. It's a one. Everything runs through that guy, which I'm with my brother. I think he's very talented, but he is a mental pygmy when it comes to what he can do with a football. It's man, too much Favre. Way too much Favre in that dude. He's like double servings of Favre. This guy has. So, Knock, what do you think of this one?
I think the Bills should just run James Cook all day long.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
You got no TJ Watt. You got, just the Steelers a little banged up on defense. Cook shows that he could take over a game and keep Allen safe.
Yep.
Let Allen run a little bit. We know he can run.
Yeah.
Just don't let him throw the ball, run the ball. That's it. Let the Steelers beat themselves too.
Mm-hmm.
Let them go 3 and out all the time.
Right. Now they did upgrade at their quarterback position with, in my opinion, with Mason Rudolph. Benching Turducken. They had to make a move there. So, but Matt, what do you think of this one? Yeah, Turducken, another lummox. Yeah. Matt, what do you think of this matchup?
Well, Matt Canada's not there anymore, so at least the Steelers have a chance.
They have a chance.
He went, 50, 60 games without getting 400 yards? Something like some kind of unbelievable stat like that. I think that's got to be an NFL, at least a modern-day NFL record. He's like Maybe he should go be the Iowa offensive coordinator based on what they normally do.
Right? It's like watching paint dry.
He would fit right in. I don't think Iowa scored their last 2 games. But yeah, in terms of this matchup, I think the Bills will win. But yeah, the Steelers are a little bit more dangerous now than they were, early to mid-season for sure. And you talk about upgrades, and it's a little bit unrelated, but when you mentioned James Cook, you get me thinking about how the Ravens basically, got Dalvin Cook out of the scrapyard.
Yeah.
Something about that doesn't seem legal. Like for it to happen that late in the season, to get somebody off waivers like week 17 or 18 or whatever it was. Something about that just seems kind of shady. But anyway,
criminal, right? Yeah.
Back to this game. Yeah, I think the Bills will take care of it. I'm glad I don't live near the stadium because I'd have somebody knocking on my door right now saying, "Hey, you got to come get a shovel and
get to work."
Get to work. I don't want to. Yeah,
they're offering $20 an hour to shovel the snow at the stadium.
Wow, man!
They started last night at like 10 or 11 at night.
Drinks, yeah.
That is awesome. That is just awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I love snow games. There's nothing more enjoyable to me than a snow game.
Yeah, I saw the articles on that one, and the comment section did not pass the vibe check. They were like, "Oh, they should be getting $30-$40 an hour." It's like, dude.
John, how many times have I bitched about the freaking Minnesota Vikings giving up their home field advantage when they put that damn team in the dome? They haven't sniffed the Super Bowl since.
No. Ever since they became a dome team, they have not been able to do it.
Well, they haven't won one either, so
well, at least they went 4 times. That home field advantage was for real.
What was the name of that stadium?
The old Metropolitan Stadium in Minneapolis.
My God, nobody wanted to go play there. You think it's bad in Lambeau? No, it was Minnesota. You didn't want to go to that place.
Now it's freeze-dried football.
That's it. Yep.
Because at least with Green Bay, you're on a major body of water right there. You got a little something.
You've got some kind of barometric whatever.
Just a barren
not in Minnesota.
Wasteland in Minnesota, dude.
You've got the Mississippi River. I don't think it's very wide there, so it's just getting started there. So yeah, not much water. Yeah.
Okay, John, what do you think of this one, man?
Well, if you look at the weather forecast, getting a foot of snow.
Damn.
There's 60-mile-an-hour winds, blizzard conditions. Yeah.
Conducive to Pittsburgh football.
I was fixing to say it's tailor-made for Pittsburgh to actually steal this, isn't it? Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna join Highlander out on that limb. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh because I think Najee Harris is a better running back than Cook.
Y'all are just haters.
Straight up haters. Guilty as charged. Guilty.
We know why Joe hates the Bills. We know why John hates the Bills.
Also, Mason Rudolph, he's kind of built for cold weather. Yeah. Like you wouldn't want like a Kyler Murray size guy out there.
Who's red nose?
No. I wasn't even talking about that. Sorry, I didn't even think about the whole red-nosed reindeer. I honestly did
not intended.
It was not pun not intended. But what I'm saying is like you wouldn't want a midget quarterback out there.
No, not at all.
Somebody to get lost in the snow.
You want a guy that's gonna
the wind
talk
taking
shit
right
to
off
the
the
lineman,
field.
right? The guys that are coming to sack him. You want a guy with some fire in his belly that's gonna talk shit to the guys rushing him, right?
You also want somebody with a little extra insulation for the cold.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? The
head from Miles Garrett.
The Steelers are going to be in white uniforms, right?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to see them.
They're going to be camouflaged.
Yeah,
that's it. It's hard to see them.
Nobody knows what's going on.
That means more picks from Josh Allen. Woo!
This is when you run the trick play where you have the guy standing near the sideline, acting like he's running off the field when he's really just, going to catch the ball.
Okay, so we're split on that one. We got 3 for Buffalo and 2 for Pittsburgh. All right, next up, 3:00 Sunday.
Okay.
The Green Bay Packers, who fucking cost me my playoff spot, go into probably the worst place currently to go play.
Nah,
the
Seattle
Dallas
lost
fucking Cowboys.
Not in the playoffs, Joe John.
That's true. You're right.
Not in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they have a huge winning streak going on at home. This Cowboys team, I see them getting to the divisional round. I think they're going to beat Green Bay. Green Bay's they're one of the hottest teams going right now. I just don't think their defense can handle the onslaught they're fixing to face out of Lamb and this bunch. Dak Prescott's playing the best football I've ever seen him play. And I know Danny's a big fan of his, even though he's not a Cowboys fan. He is a Dak Prescott fan. He'd love to see him come down to New Orleans late in his career.
Absolutely. He's a home guy from Houghton. You got to root for the home guy, but I'll take the freaking cow flop in this one. I think they'll find a way to win despite their inept abilities in the playoffs. But I think they'll get past that Packer team that just kind of sleeked in there.
Yeah, the Packers. Who did they play? Right? I mean, come on, man. Somebody
had to get this freaking position.
Somebody had to win the North in the NFC, right?
And
yeah,
Seattle
somebody
didn't
had.
want it.
Well, actually, no, they're the wild card team. I forgot. See,
Yeah,
I'm
they're a
so
wild
not
card
used to
team.
Detroit being the lead dog in that division. But yeah, I just feel like Dak is playing really good ball, and they're a different team at home, man. I went and saw them this year when they played Seattle, and wow, it's a track meet. You better eat your Wheaties before you take on Dallas in that stadium. It's ridiculous.
How many times has the Cowboys rolled into the playoffs with a high-powered offense and everybody's picking them, and then they get there, and then again, they're a different team in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure.
Strange.
Absolutely.
And it wouldn't be the first time the Packers have broken the Cowboys' hearts in that stadium.
Yeah,
there you go.
So it's happened before.
Absolutely. Okay, Knock, what do you think of this one, man?
I kind of going off what you guys are saying with the Cowboys. I think one of the things with high-powered offense is that they become too conservative in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take the risks that they did because they're too scared of turnovers and stuff like that they mute themselves. So will they let Dak do his thing, or will they just try to run the ball and run 2 times incomplete on 3rd down kind of deal? And so that, but I think at home this year especially, I think Cowboys got this one because I don't think there's anything special about the Packers.
Well, you say they get more conservative. I think that's why the Cowboys are actually better this year. It's because they've got more conservative play calling going on from Mike McCarthy. They're running the ball more now than they have in the past few years. And it's because Mike McCarthy's taken over the play calling, which I think has opened up that offense. They're having to pay attention to run a little bit more, and that's why Lamb's running scot-free half the damn time. So, I really think that, sometimes they get too conservative, but I think this season you've seen a lot more conservative play calling out of McCarthy, and it really, of all things, it's opened things up. It's my point. John, what do you think of this one?
Well, the thing is, you look at the. I agree that Dallas is monsters at home in that on that field. Mm-hmm. That stadium is that's definitely a Cowboy haven.
Yeah.
But if you look at the other side of the ball, there you've got the Packers, and the Packers are all young,
super young. Yeah,
it's the youngest team
in the league. Yeah.
So they going to go out there with something to prove, or are they going to get nervous because it's the playoffs?
Yeah.
But I still think Dallas pulls it out. I don't think Love's good enough to overcome all the nervousness of with all his young teammates.
Mm-hmm. You got to give it to the Packers organization, though. They don't give up on players. I mean, hell, as early as the first quarter of this season, he was not looking good. And at the halfway point, man, all of a sudden that offense took off. He friggin' he looks great now. So, Matt, what do you think of this one, man? You think the Packers have a chance?
I think well, there's always a chance, but I think the Cowboys will take this one. But with that said, like y'all mentioned, I've been really impressed by Jordan Love as the season has gone on. I think he's gotten better and better. But you talked about the Cowboys worried about them being too conservative. They certainly weren't too conservative a couple weeks back against the Lions when they had the lead and were throwing the ball at the end of the game, which you don't do.
Questionable there, right?
Yeah.
So as long as they don't do anything like that, I think they'll take it.
Yeah, they almost blew it in that one. Okay, so we're all on Dallas with that one. All right. This one is probably the most intriguing matchup of the damn weekend. I can't wait to watch this game. Sunday night, whole world watching. That Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford. I've been a fan of him his entire career. He is going back to the scene of the crime. Both of these, in one of the weirdest trades ever. These guys swapped quarterbacks, these two franchises, and now they face each other in the playoffs. This is going to be a fun game to watch because
Rams for the win. Rams
for the win. Yeah, I'm with you on the Rams, Dan. I think Matthew Stafford's going to come out there and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. But you know what, Goff? Guarantee you, Goff does not want to lose to Mike McVay.
Well, no, I'm just looking at the last quarter of the season, and the Rams are definitely trending up. They're getting healthy. Yep. Defense is solid. And Stafford, and they've got a lot of weapons. So I like them going into Detroit. Detroit seems to be, when they hit adversity a little bit, when they're pushed, Goff has a tendency to give it up. So I like the pedigree of the Rams to go in there and win that.
Yep. Me personally, I'm pulling for Matthew. I do not want to pick this one. This could go either way, man, if you ask me, because if that Detroit team comes out there on fire, it's going to be hard for them to stop them. But I think the defensive, to Danny's point, I think the defensive side, you put the check mark on the Rams. Because
the X factor for me is that tight end for the Lions. He is so good.
Yeah, he
very
is.
Good rookie tight end, monster player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Aaron Donald's still on that football team, and he's a tough son of a gun. I'm picking the Rams in this one to win. Knock, what do you think, man?
I'm probably leaning towards the Lions. I don't know. I don't really have a skin in this game. So I'm going to go with the home team.
Okay. All right. John, what you think?
Well, it's been my mantra the entire season. I'm not betting against the Lions.
Wow.
After they came out and beat us in Kansas City that first game, I'm like, okay, they got a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that coach will go for 4th and 19 in his own 30. Okay.
Listen. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's how much he wants to
crazy,
win.
Man.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going against that crazy guy.
It's going to be an extremely close game.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be a war, man. Neither one of these teams want to lose to the other one. They've got something to prove to each other, no doubt about it. Yeah.
But I think the Lions are going to pull it off. Well, they are at home.
What you think?
Well, first of all, don't. One recommendation is don't go trick or treating at Dan Campbell's house dressed as a ref. That's one. Suggestion number one. But number two, I think the Lions. I'll pick the Lions. With that said, I think this will be the game of the week in terms of coming. I think it'll come down to the very end. I think it'll be the most competitive game.
Could be OT. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to go overtime.
This is the game that could cause overtime rule changes.
Right.
Also, it was a
something
trade
screwy happens. I don't know what.
A trade that actually worked for both teams in terms of the quarterbacks.
Absolutely. It improved both teams. Really did. I mean, because Stafford, maybe he was getting a little stagnant, and he got with McVay and got a new setup and recharged, got him a ring, and boy, I tell you what, after a bad start to the season, I think a few people forgot that this team is only 2 years away from their Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
They turned it on in the second half, man. Matter of fact, the beginning of the end for Seattle, playoff wise, was our loss to the Rams last time. Look, I can't say enough about Matthew Stafford. You know how I feel about the guy. He's gutsy. He's tough. He's going to be in it to win it the whole game. So, yeah. All right. So we got 3 for the Lions and 2 for the Rams. The Rivers boys are with the Rams.
Okay. Oh, hey, and Joe, Tim's back. So that's the end of the show, everybody. It was great. It was
it was fantastic.
Show, guys.
Get our thoughts about Baker Mayfield next week. Speaking of my boy Baker, he wraps up Super Wildcard Weekend on Monday night. I don't know how I feel about him having a Monday night game on playoff weekend. I'd rather see him all played on Saturday and Sunday, but they chose to do it on Monday night.
Yeah,
and it's
not even gonna get to watch the game.
Reeling. This is a team I just don't understand what has happened to them. But the Philadelphia Eagles are in a tailspin, and they're heading into the NFC South champs and Baker Mayfield looking to plant a flag on them. Me personally, I think the Bucs win this one. It's simply because the Eagles, for some reason, have forgotten how to play defense. And I don't know what the hell is going on with that team. They can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag defensively. They are the wet paper bag. They can't contain anybody. I don't know what's going on with that team. And because of that, I think Baker has a big night with Mike Evans, and they win this one. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think Philadelphia is going to figure out a way to win it. The Buccaneers are not the offensive juggernaut you may think they are. They beat the Panthers to win the division 9-0.
Right.
So I think Philadelphia is going to figure out a way to score enough points. I say 20 points would probably win that game, and I think Philadelphia will figure out a way to win that game and send the Buccaneers off to that good night. Freaking punks.
Yeah.
That's the Saints fan right there, boy.
After that 9-0 game, David Tepper was crying over spilt beer.
Okay, Knock, what do you think?
Yeah, I saw an article, a dumb article earlier today, this morning, saying that Baker Mayfield might not play because of injury. And I was like, what a dumb article.
What?
There's no fucking way he misses this game.
Yeah.
But if he is hurting a little bit, that might, I don't know. Who knows?
Baker Mayfield played a year with a separated shoulder.
Yeah, that's why I thought the article was dumb. I was like, yeah, he's going to miss this game. Yeah, right. I didn't even read the rest of the article. It was stupid. No, I this is the both these teams have not played well.
Yeah.
This is the end of the season. Like the Bucs barely won the division that they had in their hands. They almost gave it up. It was theirs to lose, and they almost did.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for them, they played the worst team in the league and barely beat them.
Yeah,
9-0 or some shit. Like I mean,
it was bad.
And then the Philly just can't get out of their own way. Now they don't have AJ Brown for this week.
That's a big loss for them. Yep.
So that's a huge offensive weapon. I still think they got enough weapons. The offense is fine. I think ultimately, as Joe mentioned, is the defense.
I don't know what's happened to them.
Yeah, they're just gone. They don't. So I don't know. I think I'm still. I got to lean towards the Eagles. I just think they have the more, especially on offense. The Bucs just don't score enough points, and I think the Eagles can score enough points. So I'm leaning Eagles.
All right, John, who you got in this one?
Well, the Eagles on paper look like the better team. On paper.
That's why they play the games, my friend.
Yeah. The thing is, there's two things I'm looking at. There's two things I'm looking at. First of all, there's the health of the Eagles. Jalen Hurts playing hurt. He's got that messed up finger,
mm-hmm.
which is going to affect his throwing.
Mm-hmm.
Already has. Even though he's full participation this week, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean his throwing's any better.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown's out. Eagles are beat up. And on the other side of the ball, you've got Baker Mayfield, who's chomping at the bit to prove to everybody that the Browns fucked up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think he's dreaming of that slim chance of getting to face the Browns in a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to drive him and his team. And I think they're going to pull out the win. I mean, they're not going to make it past the 49ers. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't think either one of the teams that win this make it out of the divisional round. But
no, but yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the Bucs. So
yep. Okay, all right, Matt.
I'm going to hesitantly go with the Eagles. Don't really have a good feel on this game. Again, you got both quarterbacks banged up. Yeah, I'm going Eagles, but I'm not confident as I would be. Like if they were playing each other a month ago, I would feel a lot more.
Definitely said the Eagles,
the
right?
Eagles.
Yeah, it's such a tailspin they've been on. It's really weird, man.
I really think the fact that Sirianni, he lost both coordinators after last year.
I think that's the entire problem.
And they were able to, I guess, hide that the early part of the year. Well, after September and October, teams have game film on you, on what you're doing, new offensively and defensively. And I think whatever the coordinators they have now, I just haven't been able to adjust as well as the coordinators they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, even if they're 5% less good at modifying their game plans, that 5% in the NFL will expose you.
Yeah.
And so I think the staff turnover from last year is actually now showing up here since late November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'll still go Eagles.
Right.
But yeah, Baker Mayfield, he's it's like the Michael Jordan meme about I took that personally.
Yeah.
He takes everything personally.
Yes, he does. That's what I love about him, though. What's funny is I was looking at this earlier today, and both of them are Oklahoma quarterbacks. I love it. I think that's awesome. I really do.
That's somewhere else.
Yes.
Although that's now the norm in college football. You don't ever.
Yeah, it is. No. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's it for the matchups. Let's see. Anything else we want to talk about today? Of course, we've got the Ravens sitting at the house getting healthy. We got the San Francisco 49ers sitting at the house. They're getting healthy. Now, I'm pretty sure if Cleveland wins, unless there's another away team that wins, they're going to end up going to Baltimore in the first round, man. That's, in the divisional round, that'll be interesting. And boy, that's a game right
Baltimore.
there. Yeah. Baltimore's old quarterback.
I would not mind that.
Coming in with their biggest, that's their biggest rival. You could say Pittsburgh, you could say the Bengals. Whatever.
Cleveland, Baltimore is
Cleveland,
the
Baltimore is a war every time they play each other. Because
I'm always
well,
Steelers,
you got to remember,
Steelers Ravens is always going to be way more.
The Ravens used to be the Browns.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
they don't like each other at all.
No,
they don't. Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see you, Wookie. We're just now wrapping things up, but that I would love to see. I really want to see them win this game down in Houston and Pittsburgh. I'm pulling for Pittsburgh, but I just But the other matchup, what do we got here? Let me see. What's the one I'm forgetting about in the AFC? Miami and Kansas City. Yeah. Miami could pull that off, but I really want to see both those other two home teams win so Cleveland can go to Baltimore. I really do, man. I want to see that so bad.
I want Cleveland and Baltimore too, because I think that would be
I think it'd be one of the greatest things ever, man. I really do. I mean, it'd be a bigger game than the Rams Detroit game this weekend for sure. It would be a lot bigger game.
Yeah, Joe Flacco will be kicking in the doors of Baltimore, just like what's his face in ID4. I'm back.
Yep. And by the same token, we can see the same kind of rivalry matchup for the Niners if the Rams pull it off in Detroit.
Yeah.
Because they're probably the only away team that's going to be able to get out of the first round in the NFC, and they'll end up punching their ticket to fucking 49erville, San Francisco. And they won't be afraid to play that team because they play them twice a year. They know everything about them, so that'll be a war too. We got some good football coming, guys. I tell you what, the year of parity was a lot of fun to see. Picks were hard as hell to do this year. It was hard.
Yeah, I gave up on them.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, what?
I don't think it's been this hard since the COVID season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's maybe gave up on fantasy football that year because that was dumb.
Part of it is by design. Part of it is, the NFL does try to have as much parity as possible.
Yeah. It gets the only thing I worry about is how they're in bed with different gambling organizations now. That's
what I hate. I hate all the gambling stuff. I wish that they would have made it illegal for NFL to support sports gambling like that.
Yeah, but now they're in bed with them. They're hell, half of FanDuel is a sponsor of theirs, and
and that's how Beings is probably involved.
And that's how and that's how the UFL is going to be like even more ingrained. Because that's all XFL was. Hey, they had the over and under at the bottom of the screen of every game.
Yeah.
Well, and ESPN, and Joe, you talked about this. ESPN went from not ever talking about gambling, like the closest they would come to even talking about gambling would talk about guys in the desert, to now having ESPN bet.
It was a joke, and now they have their own. They have their own
shows.
Yeah, ESPN Sportsbook. They have their own sportsbook. It's just ridiculous, man.
If you're I don't know what all the rules are. If you're an active NFL player, you should not be allowed to gamble on anything.
Nothing.
Reason being is because
I don't like the fact that Vegas has a franchise. I don't like it at all.
If you're if you're in that position, if you have a gambling issue, whether you're gambling on anything NFL related or not, it compromises you to blackmail and that kind of thing.
This just in, my wife just stuck her head in here. We will not be seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers Buffalo game at its time early on Sunday. It's being moved to 4:30 on Sunday, Monday. It's being moved to Monday because of the weather. I guess they couldn't get enough people at $20 a pop to shovel snow.
Wusses.
So, yeah, wusses. She just stuck her head in to let me know.
I mean, honest to God,
yeah,
that's just an indictment on. That's so bad. Play the fucking game.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
So let's look at the schedule. So for Sunday, we have
Sunday is just going to be
the 1 o'clock game and then the night game. So we're going to have a nice 4-hour gap.
No, this was the first one.
No, this. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
We're just going to have the
all evening games all weekend. Sweet.
Yeah, we're going to have the two afternoon and evening game. That's the two we're going to have.
And I can assure you, if they had moved back one of the two later games on Sunday, they would have moved the noon game to later in the day.
Yeah, they probably would have. Yeah, no doubt.
But I mean, the fact that, to me, the NFL having now 2 Monday games, they've really got egg on their face.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. They're probably loving it. They're probably like, yes, this is the best thing for us. Now we have all the Monday games we can possibly want.
Well, that and it's because of money. Okay, I mean that's the only reason not to that Monday night game should be today at noon Central, 1 Eastern.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. They shouldn't have any Monday games.
It's all about money, and it's the same reason they do a lot. The Thursday night games, the London games.
Mm-hmm.
It's greed. It's not. If you have competitive balance, every game should be on a Sunday and then one Monday night game.
The only reason why I can see them not wanting to play that game in Buffalo is for fan safety getting to the stadium. That would be the only concern I could think of.
That has never been an issue
It never
throughout
has
the
in the
history of
past.
the NFL.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be one now. It's just like Small Time says. It's all about money. It's all about positioning, and it sucks for the fans. So now whoever had tickets to that game, hopefully they can get to that Monday game because they have a life to live.
Yeah, they've got a job to be at, right?
The only advantage is that Monday is a federal holiday. So there's a lot of people that aren't working. Yeah, it's Martin Luther King Day.
Martin Luther King, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I wasn't sure if it was this Monday or the next Monday. So, okay.
Yeah, it's this Monday.
Well, I can tell you for myself, we're working. So,
right? So you
if I had a ticket to that game
right?
and it got moved, I wouldn't be able to go to that game. So, I mean, yeah, that's just the NFL grabbing that dollar. They don't care. You know, the simple person that has the ticket to that game. Now, what are they supposed to do?
All I know is I get an extra day with Allie this week, so I'm happy.
There you go. Very good.
Yep.
All right. So that's going to do it for this week, boys and girls. Anybody have any other insights they want to impart about this week's games?
By the way, the UFL does start on March 30th.
Yep.
Putting it out there.
Go Battle Hawks.
Battle Hawks.
Fire Dennis Allen. Fire Dennis Allen.
Yep. Maybe
Are
Dennis
you with
Allen.
me on that one, Matt?
I will contribute to the billboard. Yes. Send me the link. I will contribute.
It's just a matter of time. Maybe Dennis Allen would do well in the UFL. Maybe that could be a.
He could go whatever FL as long as he's not with the Saints anymore.
So Highlander, instead of him going to the UFL, he needs to go to the FUL. Yeah.
FUL. That is the perfect spot for him. Well said. Well spoken.
Joe, Battle Hawks is a St. Louis team.
Cool, man. All right. Well, listen, we're going to end on that note. You guys, I'm so glad you were here. Danny, I'm glad you got a hold of me. I love talking football with you, man. It's awesome.
Hey, thank you guys for letting me get on the panel. It's always a pleasure to hang with you guys.
And if you want to come next Saturday, you come on next Saturday too, man. We're going to be talking about all the games next Saturday at 10 a.m. We'll be doing it again for the divisional round. NFL pregame party next Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And then later on today at 1:30, here in about 2 hours, I will be sketching The Privateer, the story of America's pirate patriot, working on my comic book for about an hour before I go to work. And then Monday, I'll be on Military Monday, Morning Coffee with Gary, and this will be John Das Wolfen's last morning show on Pop Culture Minefield. So try and tune in for that one. We're doing, and at his request, because it's his last show in the mornings anyway, it's going to be Battle Los Angeles starring Aaron Eckhart. You know him as Two-Face.
That is a great movie, by the way. Great movie.
And it was filmed right here in Shreveport, Louisiana. So definitely check that out at 10 a.m. Central Time on Monday on Pop Culture Minefield. Now, usually It's Only Talk and Roll happens on That 70s Rock Fans channel at 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday. But this week, it's going to be pushed back a week for the Cobra show. We're going to be talking about Cobra on the 22nd of January, not this Monday. He's got some things going on, some browser issues with his stuff, and he's going to work on his system this week. And then we'll be having a Canon Film Club meeting on That 70s Rock Fans channel. And if you didn't see our last show about the young ones, go check that out. It's a really funny show from Great Britain that they showed here in the States on MTV back in the 80s. A lot of fun. But 22nd, 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday the 22nd, we'll be doing Cobra, the Canon Film Club on That 70s Rock Fans channel. And,
I don't deal with psychos.
I don't deal with psychos. You're the disease and I'm the cure. That's it. Exactly. Okay. And then let's see. On Tuesday, it's going to be Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, video games, cocktails, and fails. I'm trying to remember what I'm playing this Tuesday. Oh, yeah. I'm playing Beyond Two Souls this Tuesday. It should be a lot of fun. And I'm not going to be doing it on Thursday anymore. It's just going to be Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Central Time. So be sure to tune in for that. And then Wednesday, it'll be State of the Atmosphere. We're finally going to get our 2024 preview show in.
Only a couple of weeks late.
That's only a couple of weeks late. I was sick the first week, and last week I had to work for a coworker. So we're going to do it this week. We're going to take a look at all the movie projects that are coming out this year, and we're going to do a review of The Beekeeper. Danny, did you go see it last night?
Look, if you're into that genre, John Wick kind of thing, go see The Beekeeper. It was a great, great movie.
Fantastic. All right. We're going to do a review of it on Wednesday. So definitely come check that out. And we're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions as well. So 5:30 p.m. Central Time on State of the Atmosphere. And then later on that night, John starts his new time for game day on Pop Culture Mindfield's channel with he's going to continue Uncharted on Wednesdays. He was doing this at 10 a.m. Central Time, but he's going back to work at his old university, and he is going to be doing his game day shows at 8 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. now on the same day. So Wednesday he's going to be doing Uncharted, and Friday he'll be doing Baldur's Gate. Both of those shows are at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then just one more thing to let you know. Danny and I are moving to Monday night. We're going to change the name of the show to Monday Matrix with the brothers, and we're going to start doing it at 6 p.m. on Monday the 22nd. So definitely come check that out. We're not going to do it this week, but my schedule is finally changing. I've been trying to get off Saturdays forever, and guess what? I'm finally going to have weekends off, guys.
I'll be able to catch it every week now too, because
there you go.
It's not interfering with my D&D game.
There you go. So
I can watch John's show because now he's doing it on the time of the day where I can actually be.
That's it. All kinds of bonuses. So we're it's the same show. We're just moving it to Monday nights. So definitely come check us out at 6 p.m. on Monday the 22nd as we start a new time slot with the Brothers Hack the Matrix. So for myself, there can be only one, the Highlander, Noxter, Matt from Small Time Republic, and John Das Wolfen. I want to thank you guys for being here. And until we see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless.